Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition in our Financial Wellness series. My name is Tristan Kurt, and I'm the Security and Compliance Officer with TBA Credit Union. And today, we're going to learn a little bit about social engineering, how you can identify it, and how you can avoid it. So just what is social engineering? Well, in summary, it's the clever manipulation of humans' natural tendency to trust and to be helpful. And unfortunately, bad actors take advantage of this tendency to trust, and they use it against us. And this could happen in email, also known as phishing. It could happen over the telephone. It could happen via good old-fashioned snail mail, and it can also happen in person. But in each of those instances where fraud happens, there are usually telltale signs that if we look for them, we can identify them and avoid them. So looking at the generally 4 types of social engineering that happens. If you look into a message or you look into a conversation or what the person is communicating to you, messages can have tones that are threatening. There can be a sense of urgency. There can be an emotional overtone to them, or they can be helpful. There are other forms of social engineering and characteristics. However, these are the 4 that at the credit union we hear and read more about. So threatening messages. So this is often coupled with a sense of urgency. And maybe you've had this type of fraud happen to you or have heard about it in the news. But essentially, the message will say that if you don't act, something bad is going to happen to you. And oftentimes, as mentioned, this is coupled with a sense of urgency. So if you don't act right now, something bad is going to happen to you. And as an example, sometimes this can take the form of an email that says, if you do not click on this link, log into your online banking account and reset your password, that your account will be frozen. Another example of this that we hear more about is someone will receive a telephone call looking for the person to update their credit card or debit card number. And if they don't do so, their card will be frozen. These are both common scams or frauds that take advantage of our tendency to trust and take advantage of the threatening or sense of urgency, because no one wants their account to be frozen or their debit or credit card to be closed or frozen. So we have a tendency to react and provide the information that the bad actors are looking for. Another characteristic of social engineering are those that tug at our heartstrings. There's an emotional overtone to them. Sometimes this will happen during a natural disaster where there are international communications from charities looking for financial support to support the victims. Other times it can happen during, as an example, this pandemic, where multiple websites and emails are created oftentimes with misinformation or malicious information, because they know that the public is hungry for medical information and health information. So again, the common characteristic here is there's an emotional tug, whether it be to be helpful or because there is a need to look for updated information related to our health. Sometimes within this type or this characteristic is getting something for nothing. So sometimes we'll have an example where a member of ours will bring in a letter that claims that they have won the lottery. But when we stop, look, and read the letter and talk with our member, we find that they did not even register for the Publishers Clearinghouse Prize or the foreign lottery. So again, that's an example of the something for nothing component. And unfortunately, everyone wants to win $1 million in the lottery, but oftentimes these types of scams are associated with having to prepay a tax or prepay processing fees, and that's where the scam lies. Another characteristic or telltale sign of social engineering are those messages that have a tendency to be helpful. As an example, you may receive a telephone call or even a pop-up message on your computer screen that claims to be someone from Microsoft or even Apple, noticing that you're having trouble with your computer. Well, we're all having trouble with our computer from time to time, but those messages play to our need to have help and support. And so they oftentimes will ask for a credit card in advance to pay for the service. One of the telltale signs or red flags in this type of message is that you've not actively asked for help. So if you've not asked for help, this could certainly be a scam or a fraud that you need to be aware of. So in summary, these are the 4 telltale signs or 4 red flags of social engineering. A message could have a threatening or urgent overtone. It could have an emotional component where it tugs at your heartstrings, or it could be helpful when you've not asked for help. Those are 4 of the telltale signs that can be found in many scams or fraud messages that the public is getting. So how can we take steps to avoid this? Beyond identification, avoid communicating with the bad actor. Avoid replying to the message or giving them any information. I would encourage you to merely send the email to your junk box, flag it as a phish or a scam, or just hang up the telephone. You can also add your phone number to the do not call list. And while this is not a perfect registry, it will help the bad actors rise to the top, or the cream rise to the top, so that you may be able to more identify them. I would also encourage you to keep your contact information up to date with all of your financial institutions and to regularly review your statements. This is an easy way to help detect unauthorized transactions and to help the financial institution communicate with you if they need to reach out to discuss potential fraud on your account. Be stingy with your information. Limit who you share your email address, your name, your physical address, and your phone number with, particularly on social engineering. Bad actors scrape that information and use it to target you at times. So I'd encourage you to know who you're sharing it with and know what they're going to use it for. Lastly, please share this information with your friends and family. The more we can educate each other and ourselves about how to avoid being a victim of fraud or scam, the better off we all will be. Well, thank you very much for tuning in to this session in our financial wellness series. Once again, my name is Tristan Kurt with TBA Credit Union. And if you have any questions about fraud on your membership or your account, please reach out to our service center at 231-946-7090. Thank you.